you get pregnant when you have PCOS? Yes, you can. Hello, my lovelies, and welcome to another one of my videos in which I want to encourage you and remind you that yes, you can get pregnant when you have PCOS. It is really understandable that you feel super discouraged when you've been trying to conceive for a while and then you get the diagnosis of PCOS, or you already know you have PCOS and you're ready to start trying for a baby. It can feel like a life sentence, but it doesn't have to be, I promise. Of course, it depends on the severity of your PCOS. For example, are you ovulating at all? If you're not ovulating, then that is what we need to get started with. We need to have an egg for you to get pregnant, right? But as long as you're ovulating, you've got an egg to catch. So it's really important for you to be charting and to learn to recognize your fertile window whenever it shows up, because often with PCOS you will have long and irregular cycles, so it becomes even more important to recognize your fertile signs. And of course it matters how often are you ovulating, because even with a young healthy couple, they only have a 25% chance every cycle to fall pregnant, let alone if you're not ovulating every month. So if you're only ovulating twice a year, it's going to be harder than when you ovulate 6, 8 or 10 times a year, obviously. And then there's the question of your hormone imbalance. How severe is your hormone imbalance? Are you struggling with your weight? Are you struggling with insulin resistance? How severe is your testosterone level? I can tell you that if you have the atypical picture of PCOS, and I did a video on this, so I'll make sure to link it in. So the atypical picture that you aren't struggling with excessive hair growth and you're not struggling with the weight, then your prognosis is a lot better. And often, if you have a history of contraceptives use, a detox of this homeopathically, maybe once or twice, will get you quite far already. Lots of women have a reduction in the pain that they often feel in their ovaries, and their cycles regulate, and they have more frequent ovulation. And they see an improvement in their cervical mucus, for example, and the length of their luteal phase. So if you fall in that category, feel encouraged right now. Another tricky thing about the longer cycles is not necessarily the fact that you are fertile less frequent in a year. It's also that because it takes longer for an egg to mature, it's not always of the best quality. So focusing on egg quality is very helpful in this case as well. Again, if you are severely overweight, this is something that you need to be working on. And I know it's difficult, but it's not impossible. I have a video from a couple of years ago that's all about glucose metabolism when you have a PCOS diagnosis. And there are supplements that can help you balance things out and help you manage the insulin resistance and your glucose levels. When you're able to get on top of that, you will see your weight melt away. Well, maybe not melt away, but you will see it improve. And as a result, you have a direct impact on the health of your ovaries and on the androgen levels. Just remember, even the tiniest improvement that you can make in your health, in your lifestyle, can be just the improvement you need to be falling pregnant. So make sure that you know your fertile window, that you're able to catch that one. Then make sure that you keep working on your lifestyle. Yes, make an effort to lose weight, even if it's difficult. Focus on what you eat. Instead of focusing on not eating sugars and not eating carbohydrates, focus on having good quality fats. I absolutely love the Weston Price way of eating, the Nourishing Traditions way of eating. This is known to really improve your sugar balance, and it's especially important when you're struggling with PCOS. Then of course there are lots of supplements. I've got a video either coming up or it's already up on tackling the testosterone levels, and as I mentioned, I've got an older video on the glucose metabolism management. And these can be helpful, yes, but don't go overboard. Don't take absolutely every supplement that you see listed. I'd say it's more important for you to have a high-fat diet to reduce insulin resistance than to have absolutely every supplement under the sun that could be beneficial in PCOS cases. And then last but not least, I can definitely recommend this month's Patreon exclusive content in which I'll be sharing remedies with you to support and encourage ovulation naturally. And if you're interested in treating your PCOS naturally, then definitely click on the playlist in your screen right now. And in the meantime, see you in the next video. Bye!